She had proof of everything. A wealthy couple accused her of stealing diamonds to avoid paying $75,000. But Miranda had been recording. What she discovered would destroy them. Miranda Chen had built her interior design business from nothing over 12 years. She started in a cramped apartment with a second-hand laptop and a dream. By 2023, she had transformed over 200 homes across the Pacific Northwest. Her reputation was everything. So when Richard and Vanessa Thornton approached her about redesigning their 6,000-square-foot waterfront mansion, Miranda saw it as the opportunity of a lifetime. The Thorntons were old money. Third-generation wealth. The kind of clients who could introduce her to an entirely new tier of business. But here's the thing. Miranda noticed something strange during their very first meeting. Vanessa kept photographing specific items around the house. Antique vases. Paintings. A jewelry box she said contained her grandmother's diamond collection worth over $200,000. At the time, Miranda thought nothing of it. She should have trusted her instincts. The renovation took 3 months. Miranda poured her heart into every detail. Custom Italian marble in the bathrooms. Hand-selected furniture from artisan craftsmen in Vermont. A complete transformation of 18 rooms. She documented everything. Every delivery. Every installation. Every design decision. This wasn't paranoia. This was professionalism. Miranda had learned years ago to keep meticulous records. But she took it one step further with the Thorntons. Something about Vanessa's behavior made her uneasy. So Miranda installed temporary security cameras in the work areas. Standard practice, she told herself. For liability purposes. The Thorntons signed the consent forms without even reading them. Big mistake. Because those cameras would capture something that changed everything. On the final walkthrough, Vanessa was all smiles. She guessed about the transformation. Richard shook Miranda's hand and promised the check would arrive within a week. And then karma showed up. The check never came. Instead, Miranda received something far worse. 3 weeks after the project ended, Miranda received a certified letter. Her hands trembled as she read it. The Thorntons were accusing her of theft. Specifically, they claimed she had stolen Vanessa's grandmother's diamond collection worth $200,000 during the renovation. The letter threatened criminal charges and a civil lawsuit. They demanded she return the jewelry immediately or face prosecution. But here's where it gets interesting. The letter also mentioned that the Thorntons had already filed an insurance claim. They wanted the insurance payout, and they wanted to destroy Miranda's reputation. What happened next shocked everyone. Miranda didn't panic. She didn't cry. She didn't even call a lawyer right away. Instead, she walked to her filing cabinet and pulled out 3 months of documentation. Every photograph, every signed form, every receipt. And most importantly, she pulled out the hard drive containing footage from those security cameras. The Thorntons had made a critical error. They assumed Miranda was just another contractor they could intimidate. They had no idea who they were dealing with. Miranda spent the next 72 hours reviewing every second of footage. And that's when she found it. The security cameras had captured Vanessa on 5 separate occasions. Each time, Vanessa would enter rooms that weren't being renovated. She would move items around, photograph them from different angles. And here's the twist. On the final day of the renovation, the cameras captured something explosive. Vanessa opened that antique jewelry box. The one supposedly containing the $200,000 diamond collection. It was completely empty. She stood there for nearly a minute, just staring at the empty box with a smile on her face. Then she closed it and walked away. The diamonds were never there. Think about that for a second. Vanessa had filed an insurance claim for jewelry that didn't exist. She had accused Miranda of stealing items that were never in the house. This wasn't just about avoiding a $75,000 invoice. This was insurance fraud. And Miranda had video evidence of the entire scheme. But the betrayer didn't see this coming. Miranda wasn't going to confront them directly. She had a much better plan. But everything I just told you? That's just the setup. Here's where the real revenge begins. Miranda didn't go to the Thorntons. She didn't go to the police. She went directly to the insurance company. She requested a meeting with their special investigations unit. These are the people who hunt down fraud. And they love getting tips with video evidence. Miranda walked into that meeting with her lawyer, her documentation, and that hard drive. She played the footage of Vanessa with the empty jewelry box. She showed them the timeline. The photographs Vanessa took before the renovation. The empty box on the final day. The insurance claim filed just 2 weeks later. The investigators' eyes went wide. The tables were about to turn. See, insurance fraud isn't a civil matter. It's a felony. The Thorntons hadn't just tried to avoid paying Miranda. They had committed a crime that could send them to prison. And now their own insurance company was about to become Miranda's most powerful ally. The investigator told her something that made her smile for the first time in weeks. The Thorntons' claim was for $500,000. Not $200,000. They had inflated the value of the supposedly stolen jewelry. They had gotten greedy. And greed always has a price. And this is where it gets good. The insurance company launched a full investigation. But they didn't tell the Thorntons. Not yet. They wanted to build an airtight case. And they invited Miranda to help. Over the next 6 weeks, investigators discovered that this wasn't the Thorntons' first rodeo. They had filed 3 previous claims with different insurance companies over the past decade. A burglary in 2015. Water damage in 2018. A car accident in 2021. All suspicious. All paid out. The Thorntons had been running this scheme for years. And they had gotten away with hundreds of thousands of dollars. But this time, they had picked the wrong victim. Miranda's documentation was perfect. Her evidence was undeniable. And her patience was extraordinary. She waited while the investigators did their work. She waited while they coordinated with law enforcement. She waited while they prepared the trap. What they did next was legendary. They arranged for a routine follow-up meeting with the Thorntons. Just to clarify some details about the claim, they said. Richard and Vanessa had no idea they were walking into an ambush. The meeting was scheduled for a Tuesday morning at 10. Richard and Vanessa arrived in matching designer outfits, completely confident. They were escorted to a conference room. Waiting inside were 3 insurance investigators, 2 attorneys, a representative from the State Attorney General's office, and Miranda Chen. The look on Vanessa's face when she saw Miranda was worth every sleepless night. But wait. The best part is coming. The lead investigator played the security footage. All of it. Vanessa moving items around. Vanessa photographing empty spaces. Vanessa opening that jewelry box and smiling at its empty interior. Then they presented the evidence of the previous claims. The pattern of fraud spanning nearly a decade. Richard turned pale. Vanessa started crying. But it was too late for tears. The Attorney General's representative informed them they were under investigation for insurance fraud, filing false police reports, and attempted extortion. Each charge carried potential prison time. And then came Miranda's moment. Her lawyer presented a civil lawsuit. $75,000 for the unpaid invoice. $150,000 in damages for defamation and emotional distress. Plus legal fees. Total demand, $275,000. The Thornton scheme to avoid paying $75,000 had just cost them their freedom, and nearly $300,000. Karma doesn't forget. It just waits for the perfect moment. 6 months later, Richard and Vanessa Thornton pleaded guilty to insurance fraud. They avoided prison, but received 5 years of probation, community service, and were ordered to pay full restitution to their previous insurance companies. Their names were added to a fraud database, making it nearly impossible for them to ever get insurance again. As for Miranda's lawsuit, they settled out of court. The Thorntons paid every penny of the $275,000. Plus, they were required to issue a public written apology admitting their accusations were completely false. Miranda's reputation wasn't just restored. It was elevated. The story went viral in design industry circles. She was featured in 3 national publications as the designer who caught her clients committing fraud. Her business exploded. She had to hire 2 additional designers to handle the demand. Let me put this in perspective. The Thorntons tried to save $75,000 and destroy an innocent woman's career. Instead, they lost $300,000, their reputation, their freedom, and their ability to ever pull this scam again. Meanwhile, Miranda turned their betrayal into her biggest success story. That's not luck. That's karma. Now here's what makes this story even more satisfying. Remember those security cameras Miranda installed? The ones the Thorntons signed consent forms for without reading? That single decision saved her business, her reputation, and ultimately made her career. Documentation isn't paranoia. It's protection. After this case, Miranda started a consulting service teaching other contractors and service providers how to protect themselves from fraudulent clients. She turned her trauma into a teaching moment. And those Thorntons? They had to sell their waterfront mansion to pay their legal fees and settlements. The same mansion Miranda had spent 3 months making beautiful. Someone else lives there now, enjoying all that Italian marble and custom furniture. The universe has a sense of humor. What would you have done in Miranda's situation? Would you have confronted them immediately, or would you have had the patience to set the trap? I want you to remember this story next time someone tells you that karma doesn't exist. Because sometimes, karma doesn't just arrive. It arrives with receipts, video evidence, and a team of insurance fraud investigators. There's one detail I haven't mentioned yet. After the settlement, Miranda received an unexpected call. It was from another interior designer in California. Someone the Thorntons had tried to scam years earlier. That designer never had the evidence to fight back. She had paid them a settlement just to make false accusations go away. When she heard about Miranda's case, she cried. Not from sadness, from relief. Because, finally, someone had stopped them. That's the thing about fraudsters and con artists. They don't stop on their own. They keep going until someone stands up. Until someone says enough. Until someone refuses to be a victim. Miranda didn't just win her own case. She stopped the Thorntons from ever doing this again. She gave voice to everyone they had silenced before. And that's worth more than any settlement check. This wasn't just about $75,000. This was about standing up when everything inside you wants to give up. This was about fighting back when the odds seem impossible. This was about karma finding a way, even when it takes years. The Thorntons thought they were untouchable. They thought their money and status made them immune to consequences. They learned the hardest lesson of all. Karma doesn't check your bank balance. Karma doesn't care about your social status. Karma doesn't forget. And karma definitely doesn't forgive. What started as a simple renovation job became the moment that defined Miranda's career. Not because of the beautiful spaces she created, but because she refused to let liars win. She refused to let her reputation be destroyed by people who saw her as an easy target. And in the end, she didn't just survive. She thrived. The Thorntons? Last I heard, they moved to a different state. Started over somewhere nobody knows their names. Living in a rental apartment. A far cry from that waterfront mansion. Every month, they still send payments toward their restitution. Every month, they're reminded of the woman they tried to destroy. Every month, karma keeps delivering. But here's my favorite part of this whole story. Miranda still has those security cameras in every project she does. And now, clients actually appreciate it. They see it as a sign of professionalism. The very thing the Thorntons used against her became her trademark. Her signature. Her protection. So what can we learn from Miranda's story? First, document everything. I don't care if you're an interior designer, a contractor, a freelancer, or anyone who provides services. Keep records. Take photos. Get signatures. It might feel like overkill until it saves your entire career. Second, don't react emotionally. Miranda could have confronted the Thorntons immediately. She could have screamed, threatened, or panicked. Instead, she stayed calm and built her case. Patience is a weapon. Third, find the right allies. Miranda didn't fight alone. She brought in her lawyer, the insurance company, and law enforcement. Sometimes the best revenge is letting the system do its job. And, finally, remember that karma is patient. The Thorntons got away with fraud for nearly a decade. They probably thought they were invincible. But every lie has an expiration date. Every scheme eventually collapses. Every betrayer eventually faces the person who won't back down. Miranda was that person. And now her story inspires thousands of others to stand up for themselves. To document their work. To refuse to be victims. Before you go, I want to ask you something important. Have you ever been in a situation where someone tried to take advantage of you? Where someone tried to avoid paying what they owed? Where someone made false accusations to cover their own lies? If you have, drop your story in the comments. I read every single one. And maybe, just maybe, your story could be featured in a future video. Because there are thousands of Mirandas out there. People who stood up when it would have been easier to give up. People who fought back when everyone told them to settle. People who proved that karma always catches up. Subscribe to Karma Delivered if you want to see more stories where justice wins. We find the stories with the most satisfying endings. The ones where the liars get exposed. The cheaters get caught. The betrayers face consequences. And the good people finally get what they deserve. That's how karma delivers. Every single time. Now you know how one interior designer turned a $75,000 betrayal into a $275,000 victory. The Thorntons thought they were clever. They thought documentation didn't matter. They were wrong. Subscribe for more karma stories where justice always wins. And tell me in the comments, what would you have done in Miranda's shoes? Would you have had the patience to wait? Or would you have confronted them immediately? I'll see you in the next one. Karma Delivered.